What's up, guys? Hydra Bread Mangoes here, coming at you with another video. In today's video, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you sick of all of those giant wall warts for all of your retro consoles and you keep constantly running out of room? Do you want to know a better solution using USB-C that could take all of those consoles and combine them into even one or maybe even two adapters? Well, that's what we're going to be covering today using the power of power delivery. But that is enough talking about it. Let's get right into it. I have the power. All right, guys, so here we are in my shipping room slash repair center room where I work on consoles and repair them and whatnot. And this is a good example of what I'm talking about with power delivery. I'm going to try to explain this as best I can so you can implement this on your own. This is not a tutorial because it's going to be a case-by-case basis. I'm just kind of showing you what I did, not really... this is not really a follow along thing. You're gonna have to do a lot of research yourself. You're going to want to have a multimeter with you like this one here so you can double check your work and make sure the polarity is set. You definitely want these because all it takes is one manufacturer to wire something wrong and then you're blowing up your Sega Genesis. So you don't want to guess on a lot of this. You want to make sure. So where we're going to start is the Sega Genesis right here. We're going to try to power this using power delivery. Now this is like a 3-in-1 adapter that works for the Sega Genesis Model 1, the NES, and the Super Nintendo. It has two different plugs at the end like this, but that would mean that all of those consoles, you can see here that it says center negative is what you want. And you can see there it says 9 volt, 350 milliamps, right? So that's how much amps it's pulling. So we know that all of those three consoles alone are using center negative. That's important, okay? So if we want to power this Sega Genesis right here, we want to do center negative. Now, the link will be in the description below for this cable. This is a 9 volt, 5 amp plug from Adafruit. And you can see here, you might be able to see it, you might not be able to see it. Let me see if I can focus. Come on, focus. Right there, there's like writing on there. What you want to buy is 9 volt. A lot of them are 3 amp, but this is 5 amp USB-C cable, power delivery cable. And I'll leave a link in the description below, but basically this will plug into the power adapter, and that the power delivery chip is inside of here. So as long as the power adapter or power bank is capable of 9 volt, 5 amp, it will then read from this chip and then deliver the correct amount of power. So what you're going to notice is we know that this is center negative, like I said. So when you go to plug this in, before you plug it into your console, and this is a 65 watt power delivery cable or a power adapter that I know for sure works. So I'm going to plug that into here and plug that in. Now, you don't want to just go ahead and plug this into your console. We have to check the polarity. Now, I already know the polarity is center positive, but I can prove that with the multimeter. So let me grab that. So the red probe is used for positive, this guy right here, and the black probe is used for negative. And the way that you check this is if it's center positive, you would take this on the outside, the negative's on the outside, and the inside is the positive. And if it says positive like that, that means it is center positive because the red is positive, right? Now, again, this is just to show you what I do, right? And that you would know if you did it the opposite way, right? Center negative, this would show a negative, which means that it's center positive. So again, this is not a tutorial, this is just what I do. So you would need a polarity reversal cable. Now this just changes the polarity of whatever it is. So this will plug into this and change the polarity to the correct polarity, right? So now this should be center negative. So now I know that this is safe to plug into my Sega Genesis. So let's do that. So you can see here I got the reversal cable to switch the polarity, and it's going directly into the USB-C power adapter. So there you go. Now I got my EverDrive hooked up, and we are going to play some Sonic, and you can see it's working perfectly. So yep, looks great, it's working great. And so we'll go over this again real quick. You grab your 9-volt power delivery USB-C cable that has a barrel end just like this one, and then that's center positive, which is the opposite of what we wanted for the console. So we used a reversal polarity, and this will reverse whatever polarity it is, and then we know it's okay to plug it into the console. So now in my game room, what if we want to, what if we wanted to break off things and actually have all of the center positive 9-volt consoles on one thing? Well, they make splitters like this, right? See how it splits? This female end splits into 2, but they make these up to 8 ways, right? So say I wanted to hook up my say I wanted to hook up my NES and my Sega Genesis, all I'd have to do now is just plug these 2 in like this, plug that in. We know it's still center negative, right? And then they even sell extensions. They sell like 6-foot extensions. I have one right here, but I mean, these are just extension cables to then, that way they're not so close. You can just plug one of these in, and then at the other end, plug into your Sega Genesis. The other one, put another extension on, plug into your Nintendo. So there's like so many different options that you can do with this. And again, I hope I explained it correctly. Most of your consoles are going to be 9-volt. I think I have, yeah, most of them over there are. The other couple ones that aren't are the Dreamcast, which I have changed to 12-volt, and the same with the N64. The PlayStation 1 is a different story. I'm going to save that for a video on its own. But yeah, and because you can split this all up, right? 65 watts is more than enough. That adapter, this adapter is more than enough to handle all of those consoles. Like, I think I've turned them all on before, and I think I pulled probably 30 watts or so. I mean, it wasn't that much, and that was turning like 5 consoles on. So this could handle majority of. Also, you're not going to turn them on all at the same time usually, right? But it does have enough power to power the Sega Tower Power if you wanted to. It's actually pretty simple. You just want to make sure you always go back to what the manufacturer power brick says. This is one from NEC from Japan, right? And even this one, you can see it says center negative right there. It's hard to tell, but it's right there. It says center negative, 9-volt. We have very similar power to Japan, so I could literally plug this into an American, outlet right now and it'd be fine. But I have my PC Engine and my TurboGrafx are both center negative, both 9-volt, and it works just fine, just like it should. So you want to refer back to your power adapter and then go from there. And then you want to use the multimeter to double check everything. And again, testing is pretty easy. This is negative, this is positive. If it's the correct one, if it's correct, the positive will be on the outside, negative will be on the inside, and it should say 9 volts. If it says negative 9 volts, that means it's still center positive, right? Because if you put the positive one in there, it would say negative. So yeah, or vice versa. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, this is not a tutorial. So using this information, you can actually get rid of a ton of power bricks and use one 65 watt, 100 watt, whatever, power delivery brick. Make sure you put power delivery. And you also want to make sure that it does 9 volt, 9 volt, 3 amp or 5 amp. I think it's in a very small writing on the bottom of this. It does say that. But a lot of times the listings will have that. Now, another cool thing that you can do with this is it can actually be run off a power bank because of the same technology. So let me show you that real quick. So this is a power bank that also has all of the same, it does the 9 volt, it does everything. Now, if I plug this in here into the back of my, right here, if I plug it into my Genesis, right? And again, we know for sure that we're on center negative. That's all good. Plug it into the USB-C port of the power brick. And go to turn it on. And you can see the TV over here. It's working. And again, that's just my EverDrive screen. If I hit plus right now, it'll start playing Sonic. So yeah, you can actually run this portably. You can run it portably off the power bank. And that just opens up a whole bunch of ideas, which is crazy. So here in the game room, I can tell you that there are 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, I moved the Sega Genesis for the video. 4, 5. There are 5 consoles that are using a single power brick. Actually, all 13 of these consoles are using a single power brick the way that I have it set up. So yeah, there's so much more room now without using all of those big, huge power brick adapters and all that. So guys, that is going to do it for the video. I did my best on explaining things and trying to convey that to you guys. Again, it's not a tutorial. I would urge you definitely to get a multimeter or multimeter, however you say it. Get one of those so you can make sure you test everything. And also go back to the manufacturer or what the power adapter says from the manufacturer, and go from there. If you have any questions about anything, leave it in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe!